serious, the UK has left the European Union. If you voted Brexit, why? How will it benefit you personally? I'm a Swiss citizen who has consistently voted against any involvement of my country with the EU for a few years now. For those who don't know, Switzerland is not part of the EU. I know that it's not really an answer to the question, but maybe my perspective may interest a few people. As it stands, the EU practices policies that are simply at odds with what we practice here. The amount of regulation the EU pumps out every year is absolutely enormous, and that doesn't fare well in a country with a deeply rooted liberal and mind-your-own-business culture. The competences of the EU, that is, the topics on which it can legislate, are not well and rigorously defined, and tend to expand regularly every year. In Switzerland, which is a federal state, institutions at the federal level can only act when the constitution explicitly allows them to. If that is not the case, the cantons are competent. So from our perspective, a governmental body whose competences aren't defined and expand is suspicious and scary. The EU exercises its power in a deeply undemocratic way, at least from the perspective of a country that practices direct democracy. Long story short, the Commission, a non-elected body, has all the power and takes its decisions in a very opaque and unaccountable way. The EU Parliament only has stamp of approval powers, as opposed to the wide powers of our national parliament. The EU dwarfs the voice of the individual, because it is only one among 512 million people. It is simply, perceived as, too big to manage in a centralized way, and that scares people. I'm 29 and voted to leave the European Union for the following reasons, TL, doctor at the end. I work in the development of flexible and renewable power generation in the UK, have done for my entire working life. I've installed over 750 megawatts in the last 7 years, a combination of onshore wind, energy storage, batteries, flexible gas generation and demand-side response technology. My small industry is incredibly important to the UK energy market, not only because it is critical to the growth of renewable clean generation but also because we provide the peaking service which is critical to prevent blackouts. Our market was effectively brought to its knees in 2017-18 with several key leaders in the market going out of business or laying off huge numbers of staff and essentially mothballing the industry. The reason for the market downturn was because of the UK government being taken to court by an Australian energy consultancy who claimed that the method by which contracts are awarded to build generating sites was in breach of the EU's state aid rules, despite the EU initially approving the process several years earlier. Because of the court case, there was a freeze on payments for existing contracts which had been awarded and a suspension of any further contracts being awarded. It dragged on until September last year, where it was confirmed that no breach of state aid had occurred. So to cut a long story short, for 3 years our market was frozen, hundreds lost their jobs and key developments to grow and modernize the UK energy sector for the future were halted or abandoned because of a technicality around whether the UK was breaching EU rules on state aid. The impact weren't only for the 3-year period. Investors lost interest and have moved on to other industries. There have been brain drains with development teams being disbanded or moving to other industries, and developing a site takes years. Companies are required to have many sites in the churn because there is a low success rate. You can't have all your eggs in one basket. If you just stop all of that and let the machine grind to a halt, it takes a huge amount of time and effort to get it going again, and you won't reap any rewards for years because the return rate is low. In an industry as important as energy, it will result in a gap in new generation coming online. Maybe it won't be seen for 5 to 10 years, but there will be an imbalance between old generation going offline and new generation coming on because of this market stagnation, and it will result in panic buying and short-termism by the UK government and a gold rush in the market with poor quality high emissions generation coming online to plug the gap, since that is the quickest generation to get online. People often argue the take-back control argument and are shouted down with claims that the EU doesn't regulate or specify laws in the UK. But as a developer of power generation in the UK, I can categorically state that on a daily basis we are required to navigate EU legislation, from fairly complex legislation around emissions and conversations because the EU democratic process is so detached from the everyday business, and if every industry in every country was lobbying for special dispensation, the entire concept of the EU falls apart. It is well known that the further you are from democracy, the more disenfranchised you feel, which is why there has been a drive towards devolution all over Europe. If you take the simple example of impact assessments to identify the presence of endangered species in the development area, it can sometimes be the case that the species you are searching for don't live in the UK or do live in the UK but are abundant, but because that species might be endangered in Poland or Italy, every site developed in the EU needs to have this process gone through. It might sound trivial, but we typically have 50 to 100 sites in the churn at any one time. Each report might cost £3,000 and take 4 weeks. All of a sudden it is a massive financial burden. Synopsis. There is huge inequality in the EU. Bulgaria uses horse-drawn carts. Poland has abysmally low wages. This goes on. British companies love this. Instead of having mechanized farms, for instance, where soft fruits are picked by machinery, there is a plethora of cheap labor to do this. The knock-on impact that refusing to innovate and embrace technology has is astounding. Suddenly you don't need engineers, service center with skills mechanics. Education becomes devalued. The UK government, not just the Tories, has systematically ignored this. If you talked about this under Blair and Brown, you were labelled a racist. The governments have done nothing to control the abuse of cheap labour until the Brexit vote. So the choice was made for them. Next, Europe is great for lots of things, but the UK doesn't fit in. It never has. The cap is a policy designed to keep French farmers in business and economically conquer Africa by ditching products, like powdered milk, at below-cost prices. The policy never made any sense for the UK, due to being an island, hence the rebate. The EU has flawed with the implementation of a worrying amount of legislation. It took the EU until August 2017, after the Brexit vote, to make it illegal to hire people in places like Poland and Bulgaria, then send them to work in places like France, Germany and the UK at far below minimum wage on those countries. However, it was legal as it was only short-term temporary relocation. As an expansion here, it's legal for companies to label a product as have specific percentages of ingredients and then tailor it for the local market. Birdseye, and every other manufacturer, has different fish/meat content of prepared food for markets like Germany versus Czechia and Bulgaria. Ever wondered how Dove soap can be so much cheaper across the EU? It's marketed as through its make for France, Germany and the UK and made as though it's for Romania. Then there's the hilariousness of being unable to eject a member. Luxembourg steals about Euro